No. You rise to the occasion. Experience comes with age, and I've been hearing a lot about age, you know.
Oh, and I finally get to check that off my list, and I knew this was going to be a big fight. The build-up for this is huge. The press conferences are entertaining. It's a spectacle.
With only 17 days left until the fight between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul, the excitement keeps increasing as both fighters push themselves harder. Training is at its highest level now, with Joshua working on his power, timing, and movement, while Jake focuses on heavy conditioning to keep up. At this point, every workout is important and the pressure around the fight keeps growing as the countdown continues.
And I have nothing but love for him, but I'm going to knock him out respectfully, and you know, we can hug and kiss afterwards, specifically kiss.
Anthony Joshua's training camp for the Jake Paul fight is already intense, and things are different this time because he changed his camp. Joshua hasn't fought since his knockout loss in September 2024 and the elbow surgery that came after it, so this camp feels more urgent. He is said to be working on conditioning, technique, footwork, and ring skills with Usyk's coaches to become sharper and smarter. Joshua admits the change has been big. Training in a new camp has pushed him more than before, both physically and mentally. He is using this time to rebuild confidence, improve his strengths, and prepare seriously for what could be an important comeback. Anthony Joshua starts his mornings with cold ice baths to make his body stronger and recover faster. Freezing water helps reduce swelling, keeps his muscles fresh, and strengthens his mindset. Joshua believes these cold sessions improve his focus and get him ready for tough training later. It is a strict routine that shows how serious he is about staying strong and prepared for the upcoming fight. Anthony Joshua trains in an environment that focuses on discipline, accuracy, and constant improvement. With experienced coaches who focus on smart technique and strategy, he approaches each workout with purpose. His drills work on making his attacks sharper and his defense more automatic. Coaches watch his timing, footwork, and punch choices, pushing him to improve past old habits. People watching notice how seriously he reacts to every correction. Instead of just relying on strength, he learns more about using angles, distance, and counters. His movement becomes more controlled as he shifts from defense to fast counter punches. The training camp forces him to grow physically and mentally, improving his instincts for the unpredictable moments in heavyweight boxing.
Simon, I think he's at that stage of his career where he's trying to rediscover a little bit of that confidence. He's gone to Alexander Usyk, where we're hearing reports he's out there training with Usyk and the team, trying to pick up something, trying to rediscover something.
That's very strange, Paul, isn't it?
It is, but it's not unheard of. I've heard of a lot of fighters doing that. You see fighters, obviously, it's the old Rocky movies years ago, but you see a fighter losing to someone, all of a sudden they go in the camp and they start training and doing little bits together and become friends or whatever else. I think it'll do Joshua no harm travelling, but as you say, he's a little bit long in the tooth and he's a bit on the back nine rather than the front nine, where that experience would really come into play. But I'm just looking at his record here. He obviously, after the Usyk fight, he'd come back and he had 3 fights and then the Ngannou demolition
Well,
job.
yeah, Jermaine Franklin, he had Robert Helene, he had Otto Wallin, and he smashed Ngannou, which everyone went hallelujah for, right?
Yeah, but he's obviously not in like the box rec rankings to see where he is. But the Dubois fight is a fight where, what you've just said then, Spencer, like, match him right. I felt he was match right with Dubois. That's just my opinion.
Just
obviously, I was wrong on that and I was proved wrong, but I felt like Joshua would have and should have came through that, but he obviously didn't. So therefore, it's back to the drawing board, and where do you go from there? What do you do from there? Does he keep the same team around him? Does he go and find someone new and try and adapt and add to his repertoire already? And this move at Usyk, I don't know what it'll be, but if he's fighting before Christmas, then he needs to get in shape quick because there's only 8 weeks to go, let's say.
Well, my understanding, he's in camp, he's in shape, and just looking to getting out and get back to winning ways is my understanding. That's why they're talking about 8 rounders.
Yeah.
He wants to sort of go under the radar a little bit, and it's difficult for someone like Anthony Joshua because he's such
Very
a
much so.
commercial commodity.
He's always been in shape all the time, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He always will be in shape. He's never, ever not been...
But it's not about his
dedicated.
physical shape, is it? No one's ever questioned his physical state. Zach, when I was talking about Anthony Joshua, and I know that the president of his fan club is here in Spencer, but I talked about the PTSD issue post various fights, whether it be the Alexander Usyk or the Daniel Dubois situation. But prior to Daniel Dubois, I always maintained that I felt that despite the performance against Jermaine Franklin, despite the performance against Robert Helenius, which had been blasted out by Deontay...
Eddie Hearn looks at this matchup with seriousness, fully aware of how much depends on Joshua's performance. He knows the result will affect Joshua's future, not just pride. If Joshua loses, people will start questioning if continuing is even worth it. But even with this pressure, Hearn still trusts Joshua. He believes the hard work over the past months has rebuilt his discipline and sharpened his focus. Joshua has treated conditioning, sparring, and every part of training like a title fight. Hearn says this mindset makes him confident Joshua will step up when it matters. Reports from inside the gym show a fighter who looks calm and hungry. Even with stress around him, Joshua keeps pushing, facing the challenge instead of running from it.
And that you and AJ must retire if Jake Paul wins on December 19th. Stand by that?
Yeah, I do. I mean, oh, I suppose so. Shit, yeah. Look, I don't see a world where Jake Paul wins this fight. I know that boxing's boxing. And I mean, what was it? Roy Jones came out this morning and said Jake Paul can win this fight.
Teddy Atlas as well.
Teddy Atlas? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, now I'm a bit worried. I won't retire. AJ should retire if he loses, no.
Sorry.
No, I see AJ winning this fight with ease, comprehensively, destructively, violently, and I don't see a world where Jake Paul is competitive in the fight, let alone win the fight. But luckily, AJ's not preparing in a way that he just thinks it's a joke. He's preparing for Jake Paul like he's a world title contender. Yes, it's been a little bit of a shorter camp. Yes, we've got to make weight this time around, but it doesn't matter. We should just slide through this guy and bash him up and beat him up, and we should do it early doors.
Just lastly, you said as well that you told Nikisa that he was weighing 290 when you were negotiating. What impact did that have? Did you feel like they would have gone even lower if they knew he was weighing 265?
No, I mean, I don't think that when you're negotiating on a weight, there's not one promoter in the world that would tell the truth about what the weight of the fighter was, and Nikisa knows that anyway. So it wasn't like we were being clever, but they wanted him to come to 240. And it's just, don't forget, AJ's never made weight before. So all of a sudden, he's tried. He'd been in camp for, 2 or 3 weeks, and he's probably sitting at, 260, 265, and it's like you got to make 240.
The reason Joshua feels confident is because of the level of sparring partners in camp. Footage shows him sparring with top heavyweights who bring different styles. Jared Anderson, known for strong power and a fast pace, forces Joshua to stay sharp defensively. Anderson punishes slow reactions, making Joshua stay focused from start to finish. Frank Sanchez brings a different test with his technical skills. His smooth movement, balance, and defensive ability make Joshua think fast, adjust his steps, and fight more strategically. These sparring sessions are more than physical work. They simulate real high-level fights. Each opponent applies pressure that Jake Paul has never experienced. The mix of styles helps Joshua build a complete skill set based on timing, accuracy, and quick adjustments.